The stars looked different from this side of the galaxy. Captain Dae-ho Kim stood at the large window of the spaceship Earth's Hope, looking out at the strange patterns of stars. His ship had traveled for 3 months to reach this spot, where humans would meet the Galactic Confederation for the first time. "Captain, they're here," said Jisoo Park, the ship's science officer. She pointed to a group of lights that were growing larger. Dae-ho nodded. "Tell everyone to get ready." 3 alien ships came into view. They were huge, at least 5 times bigger than Earth's Hope. They shone like silver fish in the darkness of space. "They're asking to talk to us," said the communications officer. "Put them on screen," said Dae-ho. The big screen at the front of the bridge lit up. An alien with blue skin and 4 eyes looked back at them. It had no hair, and its mouth was wide with 2 rows of small sharp teeth. "Greetings, humans of Earth," the alien said in perfect English. "I am High Commander Zill of the Galactic Confederation. We welcome you to our community of worlds." Dae-ho bowed slightly. "Thank you, High Commander. I am Captain Dae-ho Kim of Earth. We are honored to meet you." "Please dock your ship with ours," said Zill. "We have much to discuss." An hour later, Dae-ho and his team of 5 walked through the airlock into the alien ship. The air smelled strange but breathable. The walls were made of a material that looked like metal but felt warm to the touch. High Commander Zill waited for them with a group of other aliens. Some had scales, others had fur, and one looked like it was made of shiny rocks. "Welcome aboard the Star Weaver," said Zill. "These are representatives from some of the worlds in our confederation." Dae-ho introduced his team. Jisoo Park, the science officer, Taiwan Ryu, the security chief, Han Sol Kwan, the diplomat, Jae-in Cho, the doctor, and Young-ho Baek, the engineer. "Please follow us to the meeting hall," said Zill. As they walked through the ship, Dae-ho noticed the aliens whispering and pointing at them. Some seemed afraid, others curious. A small alien with green skin and big eyes jumped back when Taiwan looked at it. "Is something wrong?" Dae-ho asked Zill. "Nothing wrong," said Zill quickly. "Many of our people have never seen humans before. You have a certain reputation." "A reputation? But we've never met before." "We have been watching your planet for some time," Zill explained. "We find your species interesting." The meeting hall was a large room with a round table in the center. The walls showed moving pictures of strange planets and stars. Dae-ho and his team sat down on one side while the aliens sat on the other. An alien with scales and a long neck stood up. "I am Admiral Tulkar of the Dravian Empire," it said in a deep voice. "We have many questions about your world." "We're happy to answer," said Hansol, the diplomat. "Your planet has something we call the Beast," said Tulkar. "A creature so dangerous that our hunters consider it unhuntable. Many have tried and failed. We lost entire hunting teams." Dae-ho looked at Jisoo with confusion. "The Beast? What beast?" "Can you describe this creature?" asked Jisoo. Admiral Tulkar pressed a button on the table. A 3D image appeared in the air above them. It showed a large, brown, shaggy animal with a big hump on its back and 2 sharp horns. Dae-ho stared at the image for a moment, then started to laugh. One by one, the other humans joined in. Soon all 5 were laughing hard. The aliens looked at each other with confusion. "I'm sorry," said Dae-ho, trying to stop laughing. "But that's just a bison." "A bison?" asked Tulkar. "Yes," said Jisoo, wiping tears from her eyes. "It's an animal that lives on the plains of North America on our planet. They're big, but they're not that dangerous unless you make them angry." "But they killed our hunters," said an alien with fur and 6 arms. "How did you try to hunt them?" asked Taiwan. "We used sound waves to stun them," said the furry alien. "But it didn't work. They just got angry and attacked us." Taiwan nodded. "That makes sense. Bison have thick skulls. Sound waves wouldn't hurt them much." "We also tried to trap them in energy nets," said another alien. "But they broke through." "They're very strong," agreed Young-ho. "You'd need strong nets." "But the most surprising thing," said Admiral Tulkar, "is that when we checked your records, we found that humans actually eat these beasts." The room went quiet. Every alien was staring at the humans now. "Of course we eat them," said Jae-in, the doctor. "Bison meat is very good. High in protein, low in fat. It makes excellent burgers." "Burgers?" asked Zil, looking confused. "It's a kind of food," explained Han Sol. "Ground meat between two pieces of bread. Very tasty." "You eat the beast for breakfast?" asked Tulkar in disbelief. "Well, not usually for breakfast," said Daeho with a smile. "But yes, we eat them. Humans have been hunting bison for thousands of years." The alien representatives looked at each other with new expressions. Some seemed scared, others impressed. "Perhaps we have underestimated your species," said High Commander Zil slowly. "Tell us," said Admiral Tulkar, leaning forward. "How do humans hunt these bison?" Daeho looked at his team. This was not the first contact conversation he had expected to have. But if the aliens were so interested in human hunting methods, maybe this was a good way to build a relationship. "Well," he began, "there are different ways. The native peoples of North America used to hunt them on horseback with bows and arrows. Today, people might use rifles." For the next hour, the humans explained hunting to the aliens. They talked about tracking, patience, learning animal behavior, and the right weapons to use. The aliens listened with great interest, asking many questions. "So you're saying," said Tulkar at last, "that the secret is to understand your prey?" "Exactly," said Taewan. "Every animal has patterns. Learn the patterns, and you can hunt anything." "Hi." Commander Zil stood up. "I think this meeting has been very helpful. We would like to invite you to join the Confederation." "Just like that?" asked Daeho, surprised. "Yes," said Zil. "Any species that can hunt and eat the beast is clearly a strong ally to have." As they walked back to their ship later, Jisoo leaned close to Daeho. "So we're joining the Galactic Confederation because we eat bison for breakfast?" Daeho smiled and shook his head. "Diplomacy works in strange ways, but I think this is just the beginning. If they're impressed by us hunting bison, wait until they find out about the other animals we've tamed and hunted over the years." "Like what?" asked Han Sol. "Tigers, bears, sharks," said Daeho. "I think our new alien friends have a lot to learn about humans." The Earth's Hope undocked from the alien ship and started its journey back home, carrying news of Earth's new place in the galaxy. And it all started because aliens called the bison Un-Huntable, while humans called it breakfast. 3 months after the first meeting, a human ship landed on the planet Zelnar. This time, Earth sent a special team. There was Hyun-Woo Lee, a hunter with 20 years of experience. Next to him stood Soo-Jin Kang, a biologist who studied animal behavior. The third member was Jun-Ho Bae, an expert on different cultures. "Remember," said Jun-Ho as they prepared to leave the ship, "we're here to learn and to teach. The Confederation is very interested in our hunting methods." "I still can't believe they think bison are so scary," said Hyun-Woo with a smile. "Wait until they see what else we can hunt." "Be nice," said Soo-Jin. "Different species have different strengths." The door of the ship opened. Outside, a large crowd of aliens waited. They were all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Some had tentacles, others had wings. Many held strange tools and weapons. A tall alien with blue scales stepped forward. "Welcome to Zelnar. I am Mekalar, chief hunter of the Dravian Empire. We are honored to have you join our annual hunting festival." "The honor is ours," said Jun-Ho with a bow. "We are eager to learn from you." Mekalar led them through the crowd to a large field. Tents and stands were set up all around. Aliens were showing off weapons, armor, and strange hunting tools. "This is the biggest hunting festival in the galaxy," Mekalar explained. "Warriors from 50 different worlds come to compete and share their skills." "What kind of animals do you hunt here?" asked Soo-Jin. "We call them challenges, not animals," said Mekalar. "Each world brings its most dangerous predators. The hunters must track them, fight them, and capture them." "Capture them?" asked Hyun-Woo. "You don't kill them." "Kill?" Mekalar looked shocked. No, we return them to their homeworlds after the festival. Killing for sport is not our way." The humans looked at each other. This was different from hunting on Earth. "We have prepared a challenge for you," said Meklar. "Tomorrow, you will face the frost stalker from the ice moon of Thalos. Are you ready?" "We need to know more about this creature," said Sujin. "Its habits, its strengths, its weaknesses." Meklar nodded. "I will show you." He led them to a tent where a large screen showed a white creature with 6 legs and sharp teeth. It looked like a mix between a wolf and a bear, but much bigger. "The frost stalker can smell prey from 2 miles away," Meklar explained. "Its fur reflects energy weapons. Its claws can cut through metal. No hunter has ever captured one alone." "How? Do your hunters usually approach it?" asked Hyun-woo. "We use teams of 10 or more," said Meklar. "Some make noise to distract it, while others set up energy nets to trap it. Even then, we lose hunters every time." Hyun-woo studied the screen carefully. "How does it hunt? Does it chase its prey or wait to ambush?" "It chases," said Meklar, "and it never stops until it catches something." "Interesting," said Hyun-woo. "On Earth, we have animals like that too. We call them persistence hunters." That night, the humans stayed up late making plans. Sujin studied the frost stalker's biology. Hyun-woo prepared his gear. Junho learned about the rules of the competition. The next morning, hundreds of aliens gathered to watch the human hunt. No one believed they could catch the frost stalker. "They only brought 3 hunters," whispered one alien to another. "They will surely fail." "I heard they don't even use energy weapons," said another. "Just simple tools. How can they hope to succeed?" Hyun-woo checked his gear one last time. He had a strong rope, a knife, and a tranquilizer gun. Sujin carried sensors to track the creature's movements. Junho had a shield to protect them if needed. Meklar approached them. "The frost stalker has been released in the hunting grounds. You have until sunset to capture it. Good luck." "We won't need luck," said Hyun-woo calmly. "Just patience." The hunting grounds were a large area of forest and hills. Snow covered the ground. The air was cold and clear. Perfect conditions for tracking. "This way," said Sujin, looking at her sensors. "It's moving east about a mile ahead." They walked quietly through the forest. Hyun-woo studied the tracks in the snow. 6-toed prints, deep and wide. The creature was heavy. "Look," he said, pointing to a tree. "It marked its territory here. This tells us it's a territorial animal." "What does that mean for our hunt?" asked Junho. "It means it will defend certain areas more aggressively," explained Sujin. "We can use that." They followed the tracks for an hour. The creature was moving in circles, patrolling its territory. "Here's the plan," said Hyun-woo. "We'll split up. Sujin, you go left. Junho, you go right. I'll keep following it. When you're both in position, make noise to drive it toward me." The 3 split up. Hyun-woo continued tracking the frost stalker. He found a good spot, a narrow pass between 2 hills. He set up his trap, a loop of rope hidden under the snow. From the distance came the sound of Sujin and Junho shouting and banging on trees. The frost stalker roared in response. Hyun-woo waited. His breath made small clouds in the cold air. His hands were steady. This was the moment every hunter lived for. The frost stalker burst through the trees. It was huge, with white fur and eyes like blue ice. It ran straight toward the narrow pass. Just as it crossed the hidden rope, Hyun-woo pulled hard. The rope tightened around the creature's leg. It roared and tried to break free, but Hyun-woo had secured the rope to a strong tree. The frost stalker turned to attack Hyun-woo. This was the most dangerous moment. But before it could reach him, he fired the tranquilizer gun. The dart hit the creature in the neck. For a moment, nothing happened. The frost stalker kept coming. Hyun-woo prepared to dodge. Then the creature slowed, its steps became unsteady, and finally, it collapsed in the snow. "It worked!" shouted Sujin, as she and Junho ran up. "I can't believe it worked!" "How did you know the tranquilizer would work?" asked Junho. "The alien said their weapons don't affect it." "Their energy weapons don't work because its fur reflects energy," explained Hyun-woo. but a simple dart with the right chemicals will affect any living thing. When they brought the frost stalker back to the festival, tied securely and sleeping peacefully, the aliens were amazed. "How did you do it?" asked Meklar. "3 of you captured what our teams of 10 cannot?" "We studied it," said Sujin. "We learned how it thinks, how it moves, what it fears. And we used simple tools," added Hyunwoo. "Sometimes the old ways are the best ways." That evening, the humans were the guests of honor at the festival feast. Aliens from all over the galaxy wanted to talk to them, to learn their secrets. "Will you show us how to hunt like humans?" asked a young alien with bright green skin. "Of course," said Junho. "But first you must understand something important. For humans, hunting isn't just about the capture. It's about respect for the animal, understanding its ways and taking only what you need." As the night went on, the humans shared stories of Earth's hunting traditions. They talked about tribes that thanked the animals they killed, about conservation efforts to protect endangered species, and about the bond between humans and nature. "Tomorrow," said Hyunwoo, "we will show you how humans hunt. But tonight we celebrate together as friends." The aliens raised their drinks in a toast. "To the humans," said Meklar, "who showed us that sometimes the simplest way is the best way." Little did they know that this was just the beginning of what humans could teach them. News of the humans' success at the hunting festival spread quickly across the galaxy. Every alien world was talking about how 3 humans had caught the frost stalker using simple tools and clever thinking. Some aliens were amazed. Others were worried. 1 month after the festival, a new ship arrived at Earth's space station. It was black and shaped like a sharp blade. Everyone knew this ship. It belonged to the Vorn Imperium, the most aggressive species in the Confederation. Captain Daeho Kim was called to meet the visitors. He brought Hyunwoo Lee with him, since Hyunwoo was now famous after the hunting festival. The Vorn were tall aliens with thick gray skin that looked like armor. They had 4 yellow eyes and no visible mouth. They spoke through devices on their necks. "I am General Vextor of the Vorn Imperium," said the leader. His voice from the device sounded rough and metallic. "We have heard of your hunting skills." "Thank you," said Daeho carefully. The Vorn were known for their love of fighting and challenges. "What brings you to Earth?" "We have come to offer you a challenge," said Vextor. "A real challenge, not like the simple games at the festival." Hyunwoo stepped forward. "What kind of challenge?" General Vextor pressed a button on his arm. A 3D image appeared in the air. It showed a creature that made everyone in the room gasp. The creature was about the size of a horse, but it looked nothing like any animal on Earth. It had black skin that seemed to swallow light. Its head had no eyes, just a mouthful of teeth that went all the way around. It had 6 legs ending in sharp claws and a tail with a spike at the end. "This is the Night Stalker," said Vextor. "We created it for war, but it was too wild. Too dangerous even for us. We keep them on Tartarus, a death world at the edge of our territory. You want us to hunt this?" asked Daeho. "Yes," said Vextor. "No one has ever hunted a Night Stalker and lived. If you succeed, your Earth will gain a seat on the High Council of the Confederation." "And if we fail?" asked Hyunwoo. "If you fail, you die," said Vextor simply. "And Earth will remain a low-ranked member of the Confederation." Daeho and Hyunwoo looked at each other. This was a dangerous game, but the reward was great. A seat on the High Council would give Earth a voice in galaxy-wide decisions. "We accept your challenge," said Daeho, "but we will choose our own team." "Of course, me," said Vextor. "You have 1 month to prepare, then we will meet on Tartarus." After the Vorn left, Daeho called an emergency meeting. "We need our best hunters," he said. "I know who to call," said Hyunwoo. 2 weeks later, Earth's best hunting team was assembled. Besides Hyunwoo, there was Minho Yang, a former soldier who had hunted in jungles all over Earth. There was also Yoonji Choi, who was famous for tracking and hunting mountain cats in Korea's highest mountains. "This creature, this Night Stalker," said Minho as they studied the information the Vorn had given them. "It's like nothing we've ever seen. It hunts by sensing heat and movement. said Yunji, pointing to the data. No eyes, but it can feel the smallest vibration in the air or ground. And its skin absorbs light, added Hyunwoo. That's why it looks so black, perfect for hiding in darkness. For the next 2 weeks, they trained hard. They practiced moving silently, tracking by sound and feel rather than sight, and working together as a team. They designed special weapons that would work against the Night Stalker's tough skin. Remember, Yunji told the team, every predator has patterns. They all have weaknesses. We just need to find them. The day finally came. The human team traveled to Tartarus on a Vorn ship. Tartarus was a dark planet with thick forests and deep canyons. The air was hot and smelled like rotten eggs. The hunt begins at dawn, said General Vextor. You will be dropped in the northern forest. The Night Stalker has been released there. You have until sunset to kill it and bring back proof. What counts as proof? Asked Minho. Its heart, said Vextor. If you can kill it, take its heart. That is the only proof we will accept. That night the humans checked their gear one last time. Each had a special knife made of the strongest metal on Earth. Minho carried a spear with a tip that could pierce almost anything. Hyunwoo had a bow with arrows tipped with a powerful poison. Yunji had a net made of thin but incredibly strong fibers. Get some rest, said Hyunwoo. Tomorrow will be the hardest hunt of our lives. Dawn on Tartarus was not bright. The sun barely broke through the thick clouds. The forest was dark and quiet. Too quiet. The humans were dropped at the edge of the forest. As soon as the Vorn ship left, they felt eyes on them, though they knew the Night Stalker had no eyes. It's watching us, whispered Yunji. No, said Minho. It's hunting us. They moved carefully into the forest. The trees were strange, with black bark and purple leaves. The ground was soft and made no sound when they walked on it. This is good, said Hyunwoo. We can move quietly. They spread out, each taking a different path. The plan was to find the Night Stalker's territory, then drive it toward a trap they would set. Yunji found the first sign, a mark on a tree where something had scratched the bark. It came this way, she called softly to the others. They followed the signs, broken branches, disturbed ground, and strange marks that must have been the creature's claws. The trail led deeper into the forest, where the trees grew so close together that they blocked out what little light there was. Stop, whispered Minho suddenly. Listen. They all froze. At first they heard nothing. Then, a soft sound like breathing. It was coming from above them. Before they could look up, something, large and black, dropped from the trees. It landed right on top of Yunji, knocking her to the ground. The Night Stalker. Minho reacted first. He drove his spear into the creature's side. The Night Stalker made a horrible screeching sound and turned toward him. Its mouth opened all the way around its head, showing rows of sharp teeth. Hyunwoo fired an arrow. It hit the creature in the neck, but the skin was so tough that the arrow didn't go deep enough to release the poison. The Night Stalker charged at Minho. He dodged, but not fast enough. One of the creature's claws caught his arm, cutting through his protective suit. Minho, shouted Yunji. She threw her net, trying to tangle the creature's legs. It worked for a moment. The Night Stalker stumbled, giving Minho time to get away. But the creature was strong. It tore through the net and turned toward Yunji. It was learning, adapting to their attacks. Fall back, shouted Hyunwoo. Regroup. They ran through the forest, the Night Stalker close behind them. They needed a new plan, and they needed it fast. As they ran, Hyunwoo noticed something. The creature was fast, but it always took the same path they did. It didn't try to cut them off or take shortcuts. It's following our heat trail, he realized. It can't plan ahead, it just follows. They reached a small clearing. New plan, said Hyunwoo quickly. We use its hunting style against it. The Night Stalker was getting closer. They could hear it crashing through the trees. They didn't have much time. What's the plan? Asked Minho, holding his bleeding arm. Hyunwoo looked at the dark trees around them. They had studied this creature for weeks. Now it was time to put their knowledge to the test. It hunts by heat and movement, he said. So we give it plenty of both, just not where we actually are. It hunts by heat and movement, Hyunwoo said. So we use that against it. The Night Stalker was getting closer. They could hear it breaking branches as it ran toward them. Quick, Hyunwoo ordered. Yoonji, give me your heating packs. Yoonji pulled small packets from her suit. These packs gave off heat for many hours and were used to stay warm in cold weather. She handed them to Hyunwoo. Minho, I need your drone, Hyunwoo said. Minho took a small flying device from his pocket. It was the size of a bird and could fly by remote control. Here's the plan, Hyunwoo explained quickly. We attach the heat packs to the drone. The Night Stalker will follow the heat. We lead it where we want, then trap it. They worked fast. Yoonji tied the heat packs to the drone. Minho programmed it to fly in a circle around the clearing. Now we hide, said Hyunwoo. And wait. The three hunters climbed into the trees. They pulled on special gloves and masks that would hide their body heat. Then they waited. The Night Stalker burst into the clearing. It stopped and turned its head from side to side, sensing the air. Then it saw the drone with the heat packs. It began to follow it, moving in a circle. It's working, whispered Unji. The drone led the Night Stalker around and around. The creature followed, getting angry when it couldn't catch the flying heat source. Now for part 2, said Hyunwoo. He took out a small device and pressed a button. The heat packs on the drone suddenly got much hotter. The Night Stalker became more excited, focusing all its attention on the drone. Minho, lead it to the trap, Hyunwoo said. Minho controlled the drone, making it fly toward a spot they had prepared earlier. It was a small pit covered with branches and leaves. Not very deep, but enough to slow the creature down. The Night Stalker followed the drone right over the pit. The branches broke under its weight and it fell in with a loud screech. Now! Shouted Hyunwoo. The three hunters jumped down from the trees. Minho grabbed his spear. Yoonji took out a strong rope. Hyunwoo had his bow ready with a poison arrow. But the pit wasn't deep enough. The Night Stalker was already climbing out faster than they expected. It was learning, adapting to their tricks. Change of plans, called Hyunwoo. Yoonji, the canyon. Yoonji nodded. She knew what he meant. Earlier, they had seen a narrow canyon not far away. The sides were steep, a perfect place to trap the creature. This way, she shouted, running away from the pit. The Night Stalker broke free and followed her. Its 6 legs moved incredibly fast. It was gaining on her. Minho ran along a different path. He needed to get ahead of them to help with the trap. Hyunwoo followed behind the creature, keeping it focused on Yoonji. From time to time, he made noise to make sure the Night Stalker didn't turn back toward him. Yoonji reached the canyon. It was just as they remembered, narrow with high walls. Perfect for their plan. I'm in position, called Minho from the other side of the canyon. Yoonji ran into the narrow space between the canyon walls. The Night Stalker followed her, its claws scratching on the stone. The space was so narrow that the creature couldn't move as freely as before. Now, Minho, she shouted. Minho threw his spear. It hit the canyon wall right above the Night Stalker, causing rocks to fall. The creature stopped, confused by the falling rocks. Yoonji used this moment to climb up the canyon wall. She was an expert climber and quickly found handholds in the rough stone. The Night Stalker recovered and looked for her. It couldn't climb as well as she could, but it tried, using its claws to dig into the stone. Hyunwoo now, called Yoonji from her safe spot high on the wall. Hyunwoo had reached the canyon. He stood at the entrance and took careful aim with his bow. This time he needed to hit the right spot, the one weak place in the Night Stalker's armor-like skin. He remembered what they had learned from studying the creature's biology. There was a small gap in the tough skin at the base of the neck, where the head connected to the body. Hyunwoo took a deep breath. He pulled back the bowstring. The Night Stalker was halfway up the wall, still trying to reach Yoonji. It was the perfect target. He released the arrow. It flew straight and true, hitting the exact spot he was aiming for, the gap in the skin at the base of the neck. This time, the arrow went deep enough. The poison entered the creature's body. The Night Stalker let out a terrible scream. It lost its grip on the wall and fell to the canyon floor. The 3 hunters watched carefully. The creature tried to get up, but its legs wouldn't work properly. The poison was taking effect. Slowly, the Night Stalker stopped moving. "Is it dead?" asked Yunji as she climbed down. "Not yet," said Hyunwoo. "But soon." They approached the creature carefully. Its breathing was slow and weak. The poison had paralyzed it, but it was still alive. "We need to finish it," said Minho. He took out his knife. "Wait," said Hyunwoo. "On Earth, hunters respect the animals they hunt. We should do the same here." Minho nodded. He understood. Even this dangerous creature deserved respect. "Thank you for the challenge," Hyunwoo said to the Night Stalker. "Your strength has made us better hunters." Then Minho quickly and cleanly ended the creature's life with his knife. It was the kind way, without more suffering. "Now we need the heart," said Yunji. That's what Vextor wanted as proof. Using their knives, they carefully cut open the Night Stalker's chest. The heart was strange, black and with 3 chambers instead of 4 like most Earth animals. They removed it and placed it in a special container. "We did it," said Minho, looking at the dead creature. "We hunted the Un-Huntable." "It wasn't unhuntable," said Hyunwoo. "It was just misunderstood. Every creature has patterns. Every predator can be outsmarted." They made their way back through the forest to the meeting point. The sun was starting to set. They had completed the hunt just in time. General Vextor was waiting with a group of Vorn soldiers. His 4 yellow eyes widened when he saw the humans approaching. "You survived," he said, sounding surprised. "We did more than survive," said Yunji. She held up the container with the Night Stalker's heart. "We completed your challenge." Vextor took the container and examined the heart. "Impossible," he muttered. "No one has ever killed a Night Stalker before." "There's a first time for everything," said Minho. "How did you do it?" asked Vextor. "What weapons did you use?" "Our weapons were simple," said Hyunwoo. "But our greatest weapon was knowledge. We studied the creature. We learned its ways. We found its weakness." General Vextor was silent for a long moment. Then he made a strange sound that might have been a laugh. "Humans," he said finally. "You are full of surprises. As promised, Earth will have a seat on the High Council." As they prepared to leave Tartarus, Minho looked back at the dark forest. "You know," he said, "in some ways the Night Stalker reminded me of the tigers I used to track back on Earth." "And like those tigers," said Yunji, "it was beautiful in its own dangerous way." "I wonder," said Hyunwoo, "what other creatures the galaxy thinks are unhuntable." The human hunters smiled at each other. They had a feeling this was just the beginning of their adventures in the stars. 6 months passed since the hunt on Tartarus. Earth had changed a lot in that time. Alien ships now visited regularly. Strange new technologies were being shared, and humans were becoming famous throughout the galaxy. Today was a special day. Earth was hosting the first interstellar culinary and hunting exhibition. Visitors from 50 different worlds had come to learn about human hunting methods and to taste Earth's food. Captain Dae-ho Kim stood at the entrance of the huge exhibition hall in Seoul, Korea. He watched as aliens of all shapes and sizes walked through the doors. Some floated, others crawled. A few even rolled like balls. "Quite a turnout," said Admiral Tulkar, who stood beside him. The reptilian alien had become a good friend to Earth in recent months. "Yes," said Dae-ho. "I never thought so many species would be interested in how we hunt and cook. After your people hunted the Night Stalker, everyone wanted to learn your methods," said Tulkar. "And when they heard you actually eat what you hunt, well, that was shocking and fascinating." Inside the hall, the exhibition was divided into sections. In one area, Hyunwoo Lee was teaching a group of aliens how to track animals by their footprints. In another, Min Ho Yang showed how to make simple but effective traps. But the most popular section was the cooking area. Here, Chef Sang-min Oh was preparing dishes using meat from animals across the galaxy. He was famous now, the first human chef to cook alien creatures. "The secret to cooking any meat," Sang-min explained to the watching aliens, "is understanding its texture and fat content. This determines how you should cook it." He was working with meat from a creature called a glorm, a large six-legged animal from a water world. It looked strange, but Sang-min treated it like any other ingredient. The meat is similar to our earthfish, he said, cutting it into pieces. So we will cook it quickly over high heat and add these spices. The aliens watched in amazement. Most species in the galaxy didn't cook their food. Some didn't eat solid food at all. The idea of transforming raw ingredients into something better was new to them. As Sang-min cooked, the smell filled the air. Sweet, spicy, and rich. Even aliens with no sense of smell could tell something special was happening. This is called Korean barbecue style, Sang-min explained. We've been cooking this way for thousands of years on Earth. When the dish was ready, brave aliens stepped forward to taste it. Their reactions were incredible. Some made happy sounds. Others changed colors. One small green alien actually floated up into the air with joy. It's better than the raw meat, exclaimed an alien with 4 arms. How is this possible? Sang-min smiled. Cooking is a kind of magic, he said. It's about transformation. In another part of the hall, Yoon-ji Choi was showing the aliens something even more surprising. How to use every part of an animal, not just the meat. From the bones we make soup, she explained, stirring a large pot. From the skin we make leather. From the horns and antlers we make tools. Nothing is wasted. This idea amazed the aliens even more than the cooking. In their cultures, hunting was only for sport or for proving courage. The thought of using the whole animal showed a respect they hadn't expected from such fierce hunters. By the end of the day, the exhibition was a huge success. But the most important event was still to come, the grand feast. That evening, all the visitors gathered in a huge dining hall. Long tables were set up with foods from Earth and from across the galaxy. At the center of the main table sat the guest of honor, General Vextor of the Vorn. I never thought I would sit at a table with humans, said Vextor to Daeho. And I certainly never thought I would eat your food. Life is full of surprises, said Daeho with a smile. The biggest surprise was the main dish of the feast. Chef Sang-min had spent weeks preparing it. Roasted night stalker meat, seasoned with herbs from Earth and spices from 3 different alien worlds. When the dish was brought out, a hush fell over the room. The night stalker, which had been feared across the galaxy, was now food on a plate. It smelled amazing. Is this really the same creature that killed so many of our hunters? Asked an alien with scales and a long tail. The very same, said Hyunwoo, but prepared with respect and care. The aliens watched as the humans took the first bites. The human faces showed pleasure. The meat was good. Slowly, the braver aliens tried it too. Their reactions were mixed at first, as most had never eaten cooked food before. But soon, many were asking for seconds. It's delicious, said Admiral Tulkar in surprise. The beast we feared for centuries is delicious. General Vextor was the last to try it. He had no visible mouth, but his feeding tube extended to taste the meat. His 4 yellow eyes widened. This changes everything, he said simply. As the feast continued, Daeho stood up to make a speech. Everyone fell quiet to listen. Friends from across the stars, he began. Today marks a new chapter in our shared history. For too long, many species in the galaxy have lived in fear of creatures they didn't understand. They called them un-huntable, unkillable. He paused and looked around the room. But humans have always faced our fears. We studied these creatures. We learned their ways. And yes, sometimes we ate them for breakfast. This brought laughter from the humans and confused looks from many aliens. What we want to share with you is not just how to hunt or how to cook. We want to share a way of thinking, a way of turning fear into knowledge, and knowledge into respect. Because when you truly understand something, you no longer need to fear it. After the speech, as the feast went on, Admiral Tulkar approached Daeho quietly. There's something I need to ask you, said the Admiral. Something important. What is it? Asked Daeho. There's a creature on my homeworld, said Tulkar. It lives in the deep oceans. My people have feared it for thousands of years. We call it the Deep Terror. No one has ever killed one. Would your hunters, would they be willing to try? Deho smiled. I'll ask them, he said. But I think I know what the answer will be. Across the room, Hyunwoo, Minho, and Yoonji were already talking excitedly with aliens from different worlds, learning about new creatures and new challenges. This was just the beginning. Humans had found their place in the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as teachers, sharing their unique skills and courage with the stars. And somewhere out there were new beasts that aliens called Un-Huntable, that humans would soon call breakfast, ND.